Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your boy, Dr. Rogers, a multiple scholarship winner, and also a research professor in Korea. So, in this live stream, I'm going to be showing you how um, you can fill the Global Korean Scholarship, you know, the Global Korean Scholarship form and application tips on how to fill them. Yeah. So, um, currently, it's still winter in Korea, so this is to prepare students against how to fill this form when the time do arrive. So I'm going to share my screen before we proceed to that. So, um, usually the Global Korean Scholarship requires all candidates to to be very diligent, very careful when filling the forms. And part of being selected for this scholarship requires you to, be, you know, kind of be very careful the way you fill the forms because the mistake, if you make a mistake in filling these forms, you end up sometimes losing the scholarship. And you get to lose a scholarship not because you're not really good at it, but just because you missed information on how to, access um, this scholarship, or you missed out on how to fill the application form because usually mind you Koreans are very diligent, and not only Koreans but usually the way you take to share information or do your things speaks volumes in Korea. Like I'm gonna show you the second form. Usually the second form is a personal statement form. And in other scholarship applications, it's usually known as the Statement of Purpose, that's the SOP form. But in the Global Korean Scholarship, it is called, or it is generally referred to as the personal statement form. And in the personal statement form, sorry, my computer is freezing a little bit, but I'll be getting there soon. So in the personal statement form, what they expect you is to be able to, you should be able to explain what motivated you to apply for the scholarship. Why do you think you should be awarded this scholarship? That's motivation for the scholarship, and also your education background. You need to mention about your education background, your experiences that you've had with persons or significant influences or things that you know you've experienced in your life before that will enable you to be a good fit for this um, scholarship. So, what is the thing that makes you a good fit for the scholarship when you are applying for it? So, that is one of the things which you need to talk about when you're applying for the Global Korean Scholarship. That's one thing. Then, again, you you need to mention about extra curriculum activities. What are some of the activities, or what are some of the things that will make you feel pretty much qualify for this scholarship? And if applicable, you should describe awards you've received before, or if you have any publications which you've had before, you should strictly you know mention about them. And then when you're applying for the Global Korean Scholarship, it's also usually very important that you talk about you know um, you know, you're trying as much as possible to sell yourself, right? Because since it is a competition, they will, kind of like expect you to mention how, you know, how this scholarship will be helpful to you, and how is it going to impact you? Because the Global Korean Scholarship is to train world leaders, to train people who are going to influence the world, and if possible, helpful in growing career. So they usually form one is usually basic information where you mention if you're applying by the track embassy or the university track. This part is very important because if you're applying through the university track and you tick embassy track, you might end up having your document rejected. So for embassy track, you have three choices of universities to choose from, and you also have to verify if your country is of the if your country is you know, of eligible for the embassy track. Like for example, in a country like Cameroon is not eligible for university track for embassy track. So if you go mention that you're applying for the embassy track and you um choose to apply by embassy track, your documents will be deposited at the Korean embassy in Cameroon, and you end up losing the scholarship because you guys are not eligible for the embassy track. Also, you need to check on the number of spots your country has for embassy track. If, for example, five of you are applying and your country has just two positions for embassy track, I will advise you not to apply for it. Same goes for university track. You have just one university and you post your documents to the university you're applying to, not deposit with the Korean embassy. That's the first thing. So form one, on form one is usually the application form. So totally there are 21 things you need to prepare. So the first one is your application form where you fill in all your information. And then your country of citizenship. Please, it's very important you mention your country of citizenship. The country of citizenship is very important for you to mention it because if you do not mention your country of citizenship, they will be very confused as to which university you are applying for. And that ends up, making it difficult for whosoever is evaluating to be able to evaluate you. Again, um, personal statement. For your personal statement too, is the form two. You have form one application, form two, your personal statement. And you can see all there for masters, doctorate, and research is all required. The Global Korean Scholarship invites people for master level, doctorate, research. You could be an associate research or a postdoctorate. For the those applying for postdoctorate, you need to reach out to professors in Korea and notify them about your intent to join the lab. Then, if they give their approval before you can proceed to apply, if you just go apply for research without reaching out to them, you might have a downside because if you apply, some of them are not really aware of this program. So your documents are sent to them, they might not really know or comprehend what is expected of them. So that is a tip, one of the tips when you're applying. So also you need to put your study plan, your research proposal. Research proposal here is only applicable for those for research. So master's and doctorate degree level students, you do not need to drop a research proposal. Then they'll need one letter of recommendation. One letter of recommendation is required for master's, doctorate, and research. So now the question from most students usually is if you're applying for embassy, how many letters of recommendation do you need to drop? I think I think probably 1 to 3 letters of recommendations could be good because at the end of the day, your documents are going to be sent to three different universities when you're selected for the first phase, and then the GPS applicant agreement It's required. You need to sign that form. It's very important you sign that form when you are applying for the Global Korean Scholarship, because sign it, if you don't sign it, then you will not make it for the scholarship. Also, your personal medical assessment, personal, you do it by yourself. Just don't lie, because if you lie, when you come to Korea, all the medical tests are going to be rerun on you. And if they find you with some kind of critical condition, then you might be forced to, evict or lose the scholarship. So don't lie, tell them the truth, and then they will decide based on their own choices. Personally, I don't know. So also for your diplomas are required. Diploma, transcript, master, graduate required. So they're all required. You've got to present all of these forms. So, and do not leave out any of the forms. So, when they say master, for example, a bachelor degree for those applying for masters, your masters, if you're applying for PhD, you need to provide masters and bachelor, doctorate, masters, bachelor, PhD, all of them. Usually they'll say they need originals. Do not send your original document. You need to notarize it in the country where you are, or if you're of the apostolate countries, you need to apostolate the document. It's very important you have that in mind when you are applying, because mind you, a lot of students in the past have you know failed to you know they have failed to provide one of the documents. The fact that you've provided the other ones and you do not provide these other documents, it makes you to be disqualified. For example, if they say send a document, for example, to prove okay, a document like proof of citizenship and family relationship document. That is one document which is very important when you're applying for the Global Korean Scholarship. And a lot of aspects in Korea, family relation document, they wanted to cross check to see that you are not, you know, you're not a Korean, because this scholarship is not eligible for Korean applicants. So if you cannot send a document to show that one of your parents or all your parents are non-Koreans, you're going to lose this scholarship. I know of incidences in the past where some people, they have compiled all their documents, but they lost the scholarship just because they couldn't provide a document to show that their parents or one of their parents is not a Korean. And to show that proof, all you've got to do is just to provide an ID of one of your parents. You certify, you notify it, and then you add it to your application form. So, especially those sending their documents to Korea, do not forget to add those documents when you are applying. And again, too, your English score and your topic score, even though they put it optional there, it's important you add them when you're applying for the Global Korean Scholarship. The reason is that when you add this document, it's going to help to, boost up, it will help in boosting up your application, especially if your program is to be taught in Korean, you can add a Korean class certificate, or if you've taken a professional Korean course, you should add it. Do not send documents to impress. If you know your Korean is not good, it is not obligatory for you to have a Korean score. So just send the ones you know you're pretty sure about, because they are going to cross check all of this information when you are applying. So from one where you have to fill your personal information. So you need to tick whether you're applying for the embassy track or you're applying for the university track. So when ticking or taking this information for all these things, you have to, it's very important you specify if you're applying for embassy or university, like I mentioned before. If you do not Tick on one of them, or if you forget and you're applying, for example, for embassy track, they're going to take off your document and you might lose it. Mind you, this is a scholarship which is being applied by thousands of students. You are not the only student applying. You're not the only student applying. So if you miss out, you'll be taken out from the scholarship because it's a scholarship which targets students from all over the world. The fact that you've got the best how do I put it? The fact that you've got the best GPA or score doesn't necessarily guarantee you that you are going to benefit from these scholarships. So please follow instructions to the latter as much as possible, you know, as much as possible. Because, mind you, when you're applying for this scholarship, there are certain things that will make you lose. And again, the type of application you need to check: is it general? Is it research and development? Is it regional university, Korean teaching? So you also need to check your university you're applying to. Is the university a regional university or not? Is it a research institute or not? For example, if you're applying to KAIST, KAIST is a research institute for research and development. So you need to tick that part. If you go apply to a university, which is not, the university is not of the research and development, and you take another option, that already makes you, you know, confusing those arranging your documents when they are sent here in Korea. Again, your field of study, you need to notify if your field of study is um is it general science? Is it a general science field of study, or it is or it is how do you call it? Is it arts and sports? Is it education? Is it technology and engineering, social sciences, or liberal arts? So you need to notify all of this information when you are applying. Mind you, this looks very small, but you've got to tick. And please, like they put there, please refer the university information file. So there is usually a file where they put all the universities. Again, don't go applying for a university that is not or has not been picked as a university participating that year, right? Because some years, some universities are awarded to participate, some years they are not. So you have to check the university thoroughly. Do not go applying for a university that is not being the is that which is not in the list that year, because you will end up losing it. For example, let's say you're applying to Seoul National University, right? Or Kangwon National University, right? And that year, Kangwon National University is not participating. So if you send your documents to Kangwon National University, you're going to lose the scholarship because no university here has the time to start sending your documents to other universities. Check this information thoroughly and be very, very careful. Your desired field of study, you should refer to the university information file as well. That's it. Then the degree of program you're applying for. Are you applying for a master degree, for a doctorate degree, or for research? You should seek that consider that very, very important. Also, complete the form. It should be typed in English. They said in English only. So if your first language of communication is French, for example, if you're coming from the French part of Cameroon and you type in French, nobody's gonna look at it. If you type in Spanish or in Japanese, in Chinese, nobody's gonna look at it. Type it either in Korean or in English. But here they said type in English only. So you do not need to translate your documents to Korean. Okay, information of the applicants. is there. Then also they will need a passport size photograph. So they need you to add your passport size photograph. Please do add your passport size photograph. And you do not need, it is not a fashion show, so you don't need to go get a passport size photograph with a lot of makeup and all of that. They are not really interested in that. They just want to see the applicant, if the person applying is really a human, and if the person applying is also not a Korean too. Because mind you, Koreans are not eligible for this scholarship. People with Korean nationality too are not eligible for this scholarship. Okay, now the next part is the date of birth. Yes, the date of birth you need to write first. You start with the year, the month, and the date. That is how dates are written in Korean. But in the Western world or in other countries, you start with day, month, year. Follow instructions. Don't turn it. Write it as it is strictly written on the form. Also, also, um, you have gender. Gender, you need to specify what gender you are. Is it male or female? So don't put your picture you're a female and you go specify you're a male. You make it too to lose it. Your country of citizenship is, what is your country of citizenship? Country of citizenship, for example, if your country of citizenship is, let's say, Ghana, you're going to type Ghana. Okay, very important. And then to your name, family name, given name, middle name. You should ensure that your family name, given name, all the names in your passport, in your certificates do match. If you turn the others, you are totally a different person. For example, if your name is John McCain and you put McCain John, that's a different person, and your documents are going to be toasted aside, and you're going to lose the scholarship. This one goes especially for people who are applying for the Global Korean Scholarship, and they are, applying through the university, because you have just one shot and you do not want to make any mistake that will let your documents be disqualified before you even make it to the final round. Again, okay, after adding your passport size photograph, you need to put and then, like they asked before, Korean citizenship applicant. Are you a Korean citizenship? For example, Korean citizenship. Even if, for example, you from another country, you naturalize to become a Korean, you're not eligible for the scholarship. So you need to check. They're gonna cross check it in their system, and if they find out you're a Korean, then you're gonna lose the scholarship, because this is mostly structured for non-Koreans to come within Korea and gain knowledge and help in developing themselves, and if possible, Korea and the entire world. Koreans have People with Korean nationalities have their own scholarships, which it is targeted, which they can apply for, but not this one. Okay, the applicant's parents. If any of your parents have Korean citizenship, you have to check. So again, another tip is that if one of your parents has a Korean citizenship, you're not eligible for this scholarship. So current or previous scholar. For the current or previous scholar, if you're a previous Global Korean Scholarship person or alumni, and you have up to topic level 5, then it's possible you're eligible and you can apply for this scholarship. But if you are not, or if you are and you are less than topic level 5, then I will encourage you not to even apply for it. You know, I encourage you not to even apply for it. So um it's very important you keep that in mind when you are applying for this uh, scholarship. So mind you put that in mind. Then contact information. you need to put your email address, your phone number, country phone number, because all of this will be expected or be required when they want to reach you out for interview, or maybe they want to get something very important for you. So that's quite important for you to have in mind too. So um we keep going with the form. We're going to keep going. Okay. Then your language abilities. Yeah, they're going to ask topic level. Topic level is test of Korean as a foreign language, and usually this test expires after 2 years or so. So you're going to specify, do you have topic level one, two, three, four, five? Again, I strongly emphasize that if you do not know your topic level, or you've never taken TOEFL topic, do not lie, because you will be tested based on what you mention. For example, if you mention you have topic level three or four, and they call you in Korean and you cannot talk, you cannot express yourself, it will show that you are definitely lying. So you will end up losing the scholarship. Same goes for IELTS, TOEFL, and TOEIC. So if one of these tests, one of these three tests, if you've taken one of them, you have to mention your score and also provide your result slip. You can copy it and send. Copy it and send. So yeah. So that's basically it. Basically it. Yeah, we keep going. We keep going. We keep going. We keep going. So yes, academic background for bachelor degree. Required for all applicant bachelor degree, you need to write your where you had your university degree, the country location, the major, the date of graduation, except graduation. Yeah, this is important because during my year, I had not yet finished. I had not yet finished. Um, you know, I had not yet finished. I've not yet finished my master's degree. I was still running up, but a few months to that, I had to finish. And the Global Korean Scholarship permits you or give you that opportunity for people who know who are going to graduate soon. You can use your attestation of graduation with the condition that when you come to Korea, you must provide your certificate. If you do not provide it, you're eliminated from it. So you need to mention that too. For example, if you're applying for masters, you put your university name, your location. For example, uh, my bachelor degree was from, let's say, from the University of Boya, Cameroon. Okay, that is where I had my bachelor degree. Your location, the location of the country was Cameroon. Cameroon. Major was in environmental science. Environmental science. Even though it was a department of environmental science and geology, but mine was in environmental science. So date of graduation, I graduated in 2000, and that was in 2000 and 2000, I think 11. Yes, I remember. 11 months. I need to check that. Not, I can't remember the exact month when I graduated, but my degree thesis, I think I evaluated um water properties of streams, um I think well, and river. Yes. So yes, that was what I did. Well, I started research quite early. So that was what I did for my bachelor degree thesis. So how I wish I could publish that work back then. So we collected water samples from streams, wells, and we had to, evaluate the water properties and, you know, and verify which one um which one was more contaminated or not. Wow. And then I was supervised by a geologist, one of the best in Cameroon, Professor Ayonge by then. He supervised me for this work and it was great. It was great. So award, yeah, for the award I got the Cameroon Presidential um, Student Award, which each year the president of Cameroon awards scholarships to students who earn like a very good GPA, students who perform well in school. So that was what I earned at that time. So yes, that was my bachelor. Then for my master's degree, it was at Hawassa University in Ethiopia. Hawassa Uni, Ethiopia. Yeah, country. No, I have to write it by down here. Ethiopia. Ethiopia. Yeah, my major was climate change in development, where I studied soil, carbon stock in soils, and I had to quantify an amount of carbon sequestration in different land uses. So that was it. And I graduated in 2015. The month was in, I still remember, I graduated in July. They I can remember quite well. Award, of course, I had the IntraACP scholarship, which is scholarship like Erasmus Mundo stroke African Union sponsorship scholarship. Publication, my paper is there in my research gate. If you check, you're gonna see one of my papers there. So for my doctorate, now I'm not applying, so I cannot fill this part. But people who are, applying, if for example I was to apply, I graduated from university in Korea, Dongguk University, da 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 da. So that was it. Then you have to put your GPA system. Some countries have a cumulative GPA on 5. Cameroon has it on 4. And then you do the conversion at the back of the page, do the conversion, and then you add it up there when you are applying for this scholarship. So, and then for example, for my master's degree, I think I had a GPA of 3.88 on 4. Yes, I think I should be second best or first best student in my program then. Then you need to convert the percentile. You convert this percentile on 100. The page is provided for that. And then in GPA indicate on your transcript. So your transcript, you have to share a detailed, GPA of all your scores. Then this is the part now. Embassy track, you choose your universities, type A, B, or choose a university only type B, or choose a university only type A. So for example, your field of studies is liberal arts, university type, name. So you're not going to go choose type a university type B, B, B for all. You have to mix it up. Wow, these people even made it easier for you. So embassy track, 3 university. University track, just 1. Field of study. So, yeah, we keep going, keep going, keep going. So you choose a university. University track, you're going to choose just one university, either university A among university A or university B. Mind you, these universities they're going to provide a list each year when the Global Korean Scholarship is launched. They usually provide a list. They usually provide you a list for the universities for you to select which of them you think is best appropriate for you. And then if you visited Korea before, you need to mention it. Again, do not lie because they have all your records. If you've been to Korea before or not, if you've been here like an exchange student, for example, if you're from Paris or France and you once came to Korea like an exchange student, then you've got to mention that you have been to Korea before yet. So please mention that all information you provide are going or can be verified. That's one thing you need to have in mind. If they find out you're lying in any of them, then you'll put you in trouble because you're going to be kicked out from the program. So previously received previous scholarship alumni, you need to fill that information there. And then the awards have been given above are true. So you need, like I mentioned, acknowledgement. You need to fully acknowledge that all the information you provide in this form are true and valid. They are very true and valid. So before we go to Form B, um, let's, okay, just a moment. So before we go to Form B, let me stop sharing the screen for a while. So I'm gonna stop sharing the screen for a while and let's have a little chat. So if anybody wants to join the invitation, I'm gonna send this. You are welcome. Any questions and you want to join, you are welcome. Okay, you're welcome to join. So like I was saying before, um, yeah, so if you have any questions and you want to join, please, you are absolutely welcome to join and ask me the questions. Yeah, before I go to the next form, I want to mention about filling Form A. That's the first form, filling the first form of the Global Korean Scholarship. Tips on how to fill Form A. Um, those tips those tips are very important for people who are looking forward to, you know, apply. You need to follow all of that to the latter. You follow it to the latter. And when filling the forms, usually I encourage students to start checking and filling the forms like 1 month beforehand, or not even 1 month, 2, 3 months beforehand, because usually when the scholarship is announced, it's going to take a very short time for students who are looking forward to apply. They might miss one thing or the other. They might miss one thing or the other, and then they end up um, facing problems, and then here and there, and then they end up missing the whole thing. So this particular stream I'm going to end. This is for filling Form 1. I'll make another video again on how to fill Form 2, tips on how to fill Form 2, then Form 3. Then anybody who wants to join can join. So make sure you do join the family. Bye.